Hi everybody, this is Ingi from Tarot.min, and I only got 4 more cards now. So I'm going to do them all in one go. I'm doing them as pick a card, so if you're drawn to any of these cards, it could be a spiritual message for you there, a spiritual lesson that you are going through. And this can help you understand yourself a little bit better. And also if you click on the link in the description bar, you get the playlist, you get all the cards. So you can even do pick a card from all of them. So today we're doing High Priestess, we're doing Judgment, we are doing Tower, and Magician. And these descriptions that I'm doing, I'm only doing them about 3 minutes each, because I'm going to splice them all up and do one long video. Okay, so let's get started with High Priestess, the spiritual meaning. The spiritual meaning of High Priestess speaks of seeing the truth about people and who they really are. And that can mean sometimes also seeing the worst in people. And the seeker could end up feeling fearful around people. They could be overwhelmed with what they are sensing in other people. So when this card is showing up as a spiritual lesson, it's basically learning to handle what you see about people. And so maybe you need to do some resentment work, fear work, maybe you need to heal grief and anger. Because sometimes with the High Priestess you get to see the dualities, you see both the good and the bad. You need to purge those emotions so that you can stay strong in your intuition without blocking it. Because sometimes what happens with the High Priestess is that people get overwhelmed and then they start blocking their intuition. And if it's your spiritual meaning, it could be that you already started to block your intuition. So make sure that you're not defeated when this card is showing up. The spiritual lesson is to turn a limited situation around to be a positive one, to be empowered. And they could be very drawn to forests, they could be very drawn to they basically they feel safe in nature. They feel safe when they are around lakes, rivers, trees. Some of them could feel like they just want to hide away. They could be very drawn to spirit animals, power animals, and also old gods of their culture. They're trying to understand the world. So some could be very interested also in history and understanding culture. Meditation is very important. And it's while you're in this meditative state that you will get all the answers to your questions revealed, because there is often also a secret or a mystery that needs to be solved when this card is a spiritual lesson. So this card when it's a spiritual lesson is to heal emotions that the seeker has used to block their intuition because they've been afraid of seeing the truth in a situation and in people as well. You have great guides when this card is showing up. They're very evolved, they're very good at what they're doing, so they will help you. You need to open up and be willing to forgive. So if you can't forgive, you will be overwhelmed with your own shadow, because that's how they will push you to forgive. They will let you see something about yourself that was very negative in your life. And then while you're looking at that, you understand, okay, if I'm going to heal, I need to forgive myself, but I also have to then forgive as well. So this card sometimes shows up when people are really pushed. They could be pushed to the limit when this card is their spiritual lesson. But it is to open up psychically. The Judgment card. This is a card where you can see someone is getting rescued in the last moment. So you're very lucky, actually. Judgment could be a situation where you... it's actually a make and break situation often, and you could have gone through something that maybe you thought was going to be very negative, but when you look back you realize, wow, if I hadn't gone through that, I would actually not have learned something very, very valuable. So you were actually being rescued. This is to develop your character. So you could have been maybe a little bit on the wrong path, or maybe you missed something on your path that you had to have some kind of revelation. Maybe you missed it because it was maybe painful, or maybe it was something that you just couldn't look at. So when this card is showing up, it's your spiritual team intervenes so that you don't miss something very, very important. This will help increase your spiritual gifts as well. And if there's been something very confusing to you, you will see the truth about it and you will have clarity, which is a very rare thing these days. So this card will bring you clarity. That's what it means when it's spiritual lesson. You also will realize that you've been carried a lot by your spiritual team, that they're much more involved in your life than you realize. You could even have had a dream where they enter into your life to give you a specific message. You could have been saved in the last minute. You could have survived something that is like a near-death experience. The highest calling often reveals itself when you're in this energy. You'll know why you were born. And you will find out that you're a very strong manifester. And as you are manifesting, you also will grow stronger in your psychic abilities. You're proving to yourself that law of attraction is real. There's often a fresh start. You could discover what it is that you truly want and who you truly are. You have come through the hardest part. The best thing you can do now is to continue on your journey to connect to your spiritual team and to create a wall, to ground your energy and to renew your spiritual energy. And they will show you how to do it. They'll show you all of it. A lot of people go through kind of just the emotions and they're not really connected in their bodies. When this card shows up, you will be grounded in your body and you will be awakened. You will no longer be walking around not aimlessly, not really knowing why you're here. This is an awakening to integrate you fully in your body and show you who you are. The Tower. The Tower shows up when the seeker needs to let go of something that they could have held on to for too long. It could be a belief system that they only bought into because of the society where they're living. It could be a cultural thing. It could have given them security. They could have nurtured it, believed in it, built on it, only for it to turn against them. For them to fully heal, they need to let go of an idea. And it's often something that they believe they have to suffer. That is a belief that people think they have to suffer. They put up with all kinds of things until they realize they don't have to suffer anymore and they can let go of things. This could also be a shock to the seeker's belief system when they start letting go. And they could go through an ego death. What they used to hang on to is not there anymore. And it's not what they thought it was. So it could be initially feel like a threat to their security. And their instincts will wake up and they will have to use their instincts and their intuition to navigate. Things are not quite as they seem. So what you see and what you get is not the same. And it shows up as a spiritual lesson when you need to rely on your own spiritual essence, your spiritual power. Everything else now is vague and uncertain. You need to dig deep when this card is showing up. You need to let your higher self, your spiritual team and the creator tell you what the truth of the situation is. This will spiral the seeker forward in their spiritual development. You could have an intense spiritual experience and you could see a miracle that you did not think was possible. Ultimately, the Tower as spiritual initiation speaks of freeing the seeker from codependency, especially to addictions to their own limitation. Because there's an addiction to limitation in the Tower, and that's what the seeker cannot live through anymore. They are meant to free themselves spiritually. They are meant to soar high. So the Tower is set ultimately to free the seeker, but it can of course be a bit of a shock to the system. Okay, the Magician. The Magician is a fantastic card to get. It's one of my favorite cards. This is a card for your skills. It's for inventions. It's about being unique. This card speaks of getting to know yourself, appreciating yourself and loving yourself to the point where you can thrive in a relationship with a very high level soulmate, your divine soulmate. This card can be both a love fraud and a divine soulmate. Depends if it's upright or reversed. Depends how you learn it, because sometimes we learn by opposites. So we might get a false soulmate, then we get a real one. Or maybe we have a real one, but a false one wants to intervene in our relationship. This is a card for learning to discern what is real versus what is fake. So when this card is showing up, you need to be really honest with yourself. And there's also a challenge here for the seeker to step up and master something. to use their skills and ability in a way that they're reaching mastery. Sometimes this seeker will meet a character like this to guide them, to show them what is possible, and to also to open up their heart. Some will have an activation of their pineal gland, they will open up their crown chakra, and they will experience a higher divine connection. Many will go from learning from books to have direct communication with the divine and learning through their own divine inspiration. This is also the card for a master manifester. To co-create with your spiritual team, you will master new skills very quickly. Some will also create powerful spiritual music when in this initiation. So this is quite the card to get. It is the Magician after all. So you could also learn to master a divination tool as well. You could be very connected to languages. You could use languages in your manifestations. It's a little bit same like the Hermit, using old skills in a new way. But this is very innovative. So when this card is showing up, you could even create your own divination system, completely brand new. That's never been seen before, because this is also the card for the inventor as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this series of tarot cards and their spiritual meaning. When the book is out, you will have access to all the spiritual meaning in all the cards, the numerology and the elements in the cards, all the meanings, everything. So I'm still proofreading it, and this book is basically just in case. Well, first of all, I need to add spiritual meaning. That's number one. But it's also in case Tarot.min goes down, if anything happens, who knows what's going to happen in the future. If you have this book, then it's yours. You don't need the internet you don't even need access to the internet. It doesn't matter what happens to Tarot.min, you'll always have the information. So I also have written about card combination, how I do card combinations with the numbers, the elements, and the cards. So it has everything, this book. It is about 180 pages. So I hope you guys will like it. I'm very happy to be finished. It's been a long journey. I was surprised at some of the cards, how they came out, because I didn't always understand why they came out that way. Six of Pentacles is one of those cards, but it speaks of, Six of Pentacles is a card for being very kind to others, but it's also when our spiritual team is very kind to us and actually lifts us up so we can be better. And we don't always understand that we're on the shoulders of giants, people who let us use their tools, tarot for example. Who knows who invented it, but whoever it was, we are all on those shoulders, whoever that was. So Six of Pentacles is when you benefit from someone else, and it's often, when it's spiritual meaning, it is actually you also, becoming more aware of your own power and that benefiting other people, they being on your shoulders, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like bringing it forward. So guys, I am so excited about everything that's happening right now. And hopefully it will be a hardcover book. I'm going to contact a few publishers, but for now it will just be a download ebook that you can have on a USB. You can have it on your computer, and it will always be, you can have it on your phone. You can always then look up meanings. And the announcement will all be on Tarot.min and on my Instagram. And I hope that at the end of the month, or in October, no later than October, will be when the book is finished. Bye guys.